those wildfires already ripped through thousands of acres in Southern California, quickly making it the most destructive wildfire, as she mentioned, in LA's history. Joining us for some insight now is Kaitlyn Trudeau with Climate Central, a nonprofit that reports and analyzes climate science. Kaitlyn, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We've been showing the video and the images of those destructive wildfires, and they are so heartbreaking. But talk to us about what the conditions were that really came together and made them even more dangerous.
Yeah, so what we've seen this week is really a classic case of what we call fire weather. So it's a combination of really hot, dry, and windy conditions that really just come together and set the stage for extreme fire behavior. It's been really amplified because we have the Santa Ana winds, which are notoriously strong, but have been altogether something much higher than we've seen in recent memory. Hurricane 3, I think Category 3 hurricane force levels. So just really unusually strong winds that really did a lot of damage on Tuesday night.
Yeah, some of the estimates have been they've been 80 to 100 miles per hour in some cases. But there's been a term floating around as we've been covering these fires called whiplash conditions. What does that mean exactly, and how does climate change play a role?
Right. Yeah. People talk a lot about weather whiplash when you talk about these kinds of conditions. California last year, if you look at the LA area around this time, it was basically flooding a lot. There was a bunch of precipitation. We had a lot of rainfall from atmospheric rivers. And so looking now to this year, it's completely dry. LA hasn't seen noticeable rainfall in many months. And so the conditions are really, really dry across the landscape. So when we're talking about whiplash, we're basically talking about swinging from one extreme to the next extreme. And climate change is supposed to increase the frequency of these kinds of whiplash events.
And as this is all playing out still there in Los Angeles and in Southern California, many people across the U.S. are wondering, are there similar conditions that exist in other states, perhaps even here in Texas? What can you say about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been doing an annual analysis of fire weather days, and we've seen basically across the entire Western United States, there's been a massive increase in these really dangerous days. And in Texas, we've seen some parts of Texas that have seen, they now see an additional 2 more months of fire weather days compared to the 70s. So, it doesn't mean you're going to have 2 more months of fires. It just means the conditions are basically set so that should a fire break out, you're more likely going to see a really dangerous, extreme fire that's really hard to put out.
Well, Kaitlyn Trudeau with Climate Central, we appreciate you joining us and giving us some more insight into that. Thanks again.